Well, first episode of my podcast. We're going to call it the Wonderdome for now. But I have my very special guest today. For the first episode, I had to have the Real Rejects, Greg Alba and John Humphrey. What's up, guys?
What's up, Warren?
How's it going? Cosmic
Warren.
Wonder.
Oh, my God, Warren.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
It's a wonder to be here.
Why don't you put your face on camera more?
Oh,
My God,
you
Warren.
got such a winning smile.
You're so
Because I'm nothing
cheeks.
compared to you two beautiful gentlemen.
Hey, I could yes and that.
Everyone's just
all
going to
day.
compare me to the Real Rejects and be like, just stop. The Real Rejects already got you. Just leave it alone.
No, man, you're way too
Sell yourself
handsome.
short, buddy.
I love looking at you, Warren. Thanks for having us. We're your first guest on this particular segment.
On my podcast that I'm starting right now, that I hope to have for a long time, you were the first ones. I thought of you guys for this reason right here. They're hilarious and they have great insight on really all movies out there. So if you guys don't know who the Real Rejects are, you need to, and you need to go subscribe to them right now.
I think that you brought us on here because you're like, it's the first one, so I can mess this one up.
Yeah.
And then
I
as
can
it gets better,
take a
I'll
mulligan.
Get better guests to come on the channel. Yeah.
You're using us as scratch paper.
Not at all. No, we had to start with the best. But speaking of, congrats to Greg. Recently got engaged.
Yes, I did.
Hey.
Yes, I
Big
did.
week for you, too, because you're also writing a movie that you announced.
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple of big announcements this week, and they're both going to probably be able to deliver around the same time. Like, two engagements will take a long time, and then we're only in pre-production on the movie right now, so haven't even started like the official filming of it. It's all going to take a long time, so immediately I'm blown up with questions of when's this coming out? I'm like, we don't know yet.
Are the premiere and your wedding going to be the same event?
It's happening. All right, you just gotta. We really want to take our time to make sure this is good. All right.
That's a good way to go about it.
But thank you, Warren.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
No, absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 3, Black Panther 2, and The Mandalorian. But we're going to start with Spider-Man 3, huge multiverse movie, right? So it's supposedly supposed to be. That's a redundant statement. But multiverse. Some people are upset that it's not just, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Some want Tobey Maguire. Some want Andrew Garfield, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, everybody. What do you guys think? Do you think it should be all about Tom Holland, or do you think it should be this big multiverse Spider-Verse movie?
All right, look, I'm gonna let John go first because since we're the first guests here, I'm going to do whatever I can to give the controversial opinions. I know what you probably want, Warren, is sincerity and honesty today. While I say let's have some fun and get both opinions in here.
So I'm gonna
John and I agree on way too many things. So
I'm going to start you out with the milquetoast, publicly agreeable opinion.
get the opinion out there, John.
Guys,
I'll go in there.
Personally, Spider-Man 3, I think we should not lose ourselves in the weeds of multiverse fun. It should certainly be nucleus focused on Tom Holland. However, I think it's a tremendous idea with full potential for magnificent anticipation going forward if they introduce the multiverse. Some of these crazy things they've been talking about, use them sparingly, and then go back to them for future installments and expand from there. I would love to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and all these people show up. I just don't want them to hijack the film.
So what's your exact question here, Warren? That they shouldn't be like they shouldn't do all these other additional characters in here, or it should just be Tom Holland focused? Should it not be a Spider-Verse movie? Is what you're saying? I think
because sorry.
No, please, Warren. It's your show.
Because we went from let's go to Spider-Man Far From Home ending. Oh, Spider-Man! Everybody knows he's Peter Parker now, right?
What?
Everybody knows Peter Parker's Spider-Man. You didn't see? Spoilers!
I've been lying about a lot of these comic book movies. Anyway.
Well, just so you know, everybody at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So now you know.
Sounds like quite a twist.
Big one.
Why we walk out halfway through?
Yeah, why did we give up on that movie?
It was so bad, you just walked up.
Why'd they make him a hero? Screw this movie.
Come on.
I came for evil. Came for bad guy Mysterio. What's happening?
Well, okay. Look, as much as people are probably like, it's going to distract, people thought that about Iron Man in Spider-Man Homecoming. And you know what?
They did.
What's up?
I just said they did. Yep, sorry.
Oh, no, that's good. I like when people agree with me. When you disagree, this venom comes out of me. Venom. Knock, knock. Venom. Are we sure we're the best first guest for you to have?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cut it.
I think people thought he would distract from there, and he didn't. And, as fun as Tom Holland is, we've had, what is this, like the 25th Spider-Man movie, for crying out loud, where it's mainly focused on Peter Parker. And you know what a lot of people think is the best Spider-Man movie? I think real Spider-Man fans, look at me, I have a beanie and a Spider-Man shirt. That must mean I am the representation of real Spider-Man fans. A lot of people think the best Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And you know what? Even though it was an Into the Spider-Verse film, I thought that it still made it a Miles Morales movie at the end of the day. So what's to stop them from pulling off something similar here, just in a live action format? You have Tom Holland as the main character. You have his Peter Parker, but you throw in a whole bunch of other people in there. This phase of Marvel is where we're getting wacky and crazy. WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness. Now let's explore that with Spider-Man. A big part of what makes the MCU so cool is that they've slowly been bringing the essence and the heart and the soul of the comic books, this animated format, into live action. Now that we have the Spider-Verse animated movie, I say we can pull it off. Throw more people in there. I heard there's Dr. Octopus is going to be in there. How he's alive, no idea. Well, let's make it happen.
He's a character. Yeah. That's all we need.
He is a character.
I'll be like, I'm Doc Ock. Leave. I'm satisfied with that. Easter eggs. Warren, you're a cosmic wonder. Your videos hinge so much off of awesome Easter eggs. You're gonna want.
I want everything. I want it all.
Then you get a million views on breaking that crap down.
The most comprehensive spider film.
So you're gonna want to be on my side of this.
So this is now turned into, I guess, competition between
movie fights.
Movie fights.
It's like I brought the wrong energy to this.
I'm just saying, why everyone's gonna have similar opinions. So let's have some fun and mix this up.
All right.
Well, I'm okay.
Where are you?
I agree with
Warren?
both of you. I'm in the middle, right? So I agree with both of you halfway and disagree with both of you halfway.
Excellent.
So I think
this neutral piece of crap.
Take a side.
Right? Hate to be that guy.
Way to not be
Don't
edgy.
be wishy-washy, Warren.
I gotta appeal to the masses, right? That's what's
give
the people what they want. Manja.
Can't be nonpartisan with your superheroes.
Sorry, Warren. Sorry for ripping at you. Please
Well,
tell us. Yeah.
Well. Andrew Garfield didn't get 3 movies, but I was gonna say, Tobey Maguire got 3 movies. Andrew got 2. They were all focused on them, but at the same time, you're right, Greg. It's been done before, right? So you kind of got to add new things, and especially in this new MCU, I'll call it, when everything's about to just get blown up. It would be cool for this to kind of blow up as well, right? And it's gonna sync with it because it's part of the MCU, right? So I've specifically been told that there's a very specific order: WandaVision, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man 3, for a reason. WandaVision is going to kind of like break those realms and kind of create the multiverse. Doctor Strange is going to really, really explore it, and then a lot of that multiverse is going to collide into ours in Spider-Man 3. So I agree that they can bring all these other different Spider-Man in and all these other different characters, but they should still have that focus on Tom Holland's Peter Parker like they did on Miles. So I still think it should be his movie because, it's his movie, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like, I actually like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man the best. I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I like Tobey Maguire's the best. But it's not like
that's the right
I'm a
choice,
big Tom Holland fan. There you go. It's not like I'm like, oh, Tom Holland is the best ever. Love the guy, but I'm not like fan crazy over him as Spider-Man. But I do think he should get that kind of, focus. Maybe it doesn't have to be the absolute center of attention, but because I really want to see Toby and Andrew in there. I would love to see some magical way Emma Stone in there as Gwen Stacy. That's another one of those like Doc Ock thing. He's dead. I don't care. Just throw him in. He's in other movies, right? But he's dead. Multiverse. Well, that doesn't explain time travel. Multiverse, throw him in there. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Throw Gwen in there for some reason.
As long as they bring an Italian Spider-Man, I think that's all fans will really be looking out for.
Well, I think too that you can use this as an opportunity. You know how X-Men Days of Future Past properly gave a good wraparound, especially after the crap that X-Men The Last Stand was, how they kind of fixed that up.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah.
3's, Tobey Maguire's did not have a solid ending. They're supposed to be a part 4, as we all know.
They're supposed to be 4, right, yeah.
Yeah. And then Andrew Garfield, obviously that didn't finish. So I think you can wrap those up in some way, whether it's just like it's all about the writing and the execution. So you just have
Right.
like at least a scene or two that's really good that gives you closure on those, leave them behind, you know? And then, yeah. But I think for the most part, even though I tried playing devil's advocate, I feel like we all landed on the same page here.
Right,
Don't get too lost in the weeds, but we've seen this a million times. Let's have some fun.
People
Right.
are always
But
concerned that
to
they're
your
gonna
point,
outshine
Greg-
him. He's going to be fine.
He's Tom Holland. He's got charisma
He's
for
Tom
days.
Holland.
He can
Yeah.
compete.
He's in so many movies right now. Like, they
With
just
big
keep coming
casts.
out.
Yeah.
Too many movies.
They're in the new Russo Brothers movie. I'm like, is there anything this guy's not in right now? It's like the new Nicolas Cage or something. The guy's in like a billion movies. It's
Tom
just
Holland
like-
is in bad debt.
I hope someone says that into an interview with Tom Holland. You're like the new
like the
Nicolas
young
Cage.
Nicolas
You're like
Cage.
the
You're the new
up-and-coming Nick Cage, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, he played Ghost Rider. He was with Marvel, right?
There you go.
That's
I
what-
think as long as this Spider-Verse movie or this Spider-Man movie only keeps it in Spider-Man world, like when
Okay.
if I'm hearing that they're throwing in characters that are obvious, like if you threw the Mandarin in there, who's obviously more associated with either
Right,
Shang-Chi
right,
or
right,
Iron
right,
Man,
right.
then it'd be like too much. Dial it back. But if
Right.
if it's just Spider-Man related, mainly Spider-Man related characters, then all right. I'm A-okay. I think we're going to be fine. No one needs to get their panties in a bunch.
Well, because it's
yeah.
still a Spider-Man movie at that point, right? Because they're Spider-Man characters. But if you start
Exactly.
throwing the Mandarin, then it's not. It's just like Avengers Endgame, right? It's just everything.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Strange, I think, is just going to be a cameo. I think he's going to have, like, in Thor Ragnarok, Doctor Strange had an important scene. It was a short scene, but it was an important
Right.
one to move the plot along to help explain
Yep.
some stuff. And I think that's exactly what we're going to get with Doctor Strange in Spider-Man 3. I'm hearing mentor, so maybe he will be what Iron Man was in that, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a role as everyone has made it out to be. Like, he is the main supporting character. I don't think it's going to be that big.
Well, and like you said in the beginning, Iron Man didn't steal the show away in Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
Happy or anybody else didn't really steal it in Far From Home, so it's okay to have a mentor, right? And that's fine. But something going back on something you said, like the closure to the original Spider-Man 3 with Tobey and closure for Andrew. Multiverse of Madness is directed by Sam Raimi. So this is all lined up in a very specific way, and right in the middle is Sam Raimi to kind of get that opportunity to wrap it up.
So you're saying it's like linked to Oz the Great and the Powerful?
I can
Exactly.
totally see it. There's magic in that
Exactly.
world.
Magic-
They're bringing magic
Exactly.
into the MCU.
I didn't even think of
flying
that.
monkeys
James
and
Franco is
stuff.
coming out and
James
playing
Franco-
both characters.
That's right. He's worked with James Franco before. James Franco happened to be
Yeah.
in one of those Spider-Man movies. I forget who that's directed by, but he happened to be in one of those.
Well, yeah, because
Yep.
after the Tobey Maguire timeline, like there's a huge accident, and then the world devolves into like different pockets of wasteland, and that's where Oz rises up, and Harry Osborn
Exactly.
becomes the wizard.
Exactly. That's exactly how it works.
Is this bit
We
gonna stay
figured
in
it
the
out.
video?
Sorry, Marvel, but we got you. It's done.
If you delete
Write something
that bit
else,
from
'cause
the
we got ya.
video, I'm going to be so pissed off. This bit better stay in the video. Whatever point you were making. Yes, and 100% Warren. I totally agree with you.
Tell me how to think, Warren. Tell me what to think.
You should just devote all your videos to telling people to subscribe to my channel.
That sounds like a great idea.
That'd be funny.
I think you'd get a lot of views.
Subscribe to the
that way.
Cosmic
It's like a solid month at the end. If you guys like this video, watch the subscribe. Never
Thanks for watching the Real Rejects. Don't forget to subscribe to
Don't
Cosmic
forget to
Wonder.
subscribe.
Just tell them to subscribe to Cosmic Wonder.
We should just do that 1 month anyways. Just like take like a week where at the end of our videos we just say subscribe to the Real Reject, subscribe to Cosmic Wonder, just to throw people off.
That could be a great experiment.
It'd be funny to see if why do they keep saying that?
And see how
do
it
they
affects our
understand
subcounts.
where they're at right now?
This is the joy.
It's the
of
multiverse,
podcast.
right?
Banter, off-topic banter.
Yeah.
This is the
This
joy
is-
of a real.
This is the
podcast.
content.
I'm
This is the
teaching you how to
content, not word.
podcast.
Then you hand it off to the editor to decide what people would actually want to listen to.
Right? Yeah, right. Ooh, Chris. Ooh. But you know, I'm excited for it because I think the possibilities are endless. Right? I mean,
Of course.
Literally.
like you said, Greg, as long as they stick within the Spider-Man universe, right? Just put Spider-Man characters in there, you can do whatever you want. And I'm pretty sure everybody's going to eat it up.
Yeah, no matter what complaints we have that are preconceived notions, we're all still showing up.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
Tickets are paid
100%.
and that be on a to be serious for a second, because this is the most serious thing I've had to discuss all year, undoubtedly. To be serious, I think that
You're doing great.
What was my point? God damn it! Oh, I had such a solid
the gravity,
point.
the gravity.
Oh, I got so caught up in my little sarcastic remark. I'm so sorry. Damn, what was my point?
Everyone's going to go see the
Oh
movie.
yeah, I do think we got to get to a point though when Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is officially a freaking adult.
Yes.
that
Yeah.
we can't have
Yes.
like mentor this and mentor that, and he has to be able to stand on his own.
The
eventually.
man of a million
Yeah,
mentors.
right. Like he doesn't. There
Right.
has to get to that point. But you know, I think that it's having me think of like how in Civil War the comics, Spider-Man unveiled his identity, and then it's funny how Spider-Man debuted in the MCU in Civil War.
In Civil War, right.
And so I feel like they're kind of doing this hodgepodge of borrowing different, like how they've always done, but especially now that the world knows Peter Parker's identity, Spider-Man's identity is Peter Parker.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of borrowing some angles from there as well, you know? So I think you do have to get to a point, though, eventually where he can stand on his own 2 feet and it doesn't require this MCU character, that MCU character. And I
Right.
especially feel like in the part 3s of this movies is when they start to go a little bit banana sandwich when it comes to their, like Thor Ragnarok had Hulk in there, and then
True.
what was the other one? Captain America Civil War.
Captain America Civil War is literally just an Avengers movie.
I mean, Avengers was already like a crossover of sorts with an Infinity War. The part 3 of the Avengers movies is when it got like,
Right.
whoa, we're going all out here.
everything.
You know, so I think this is when they usually go all out, is when the part 3 is to really do it. Yep.
Valid
And
point.
maybe they'll be the first big Hollywood Spider-Man franchise to nail that part 3.
Yeah.
It would be nice. All right. It would be nice, yeah. It would be nice. They have a really good opportunity to do it here. But, you know, I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot of memes actually, where it's like, oh, Spider-Man, like, you know, Tony Stark's gone. He finally can make it on his own. Doctor Strange confirmed to be mentor. It's Spider-Man
Yeah.
and Spider-Man 3. And it was like, what? It's like, this was it. This was the opportunity for him to, like, be an adult.
I don't think there's ever been a more justifiable reason for him to have some help.
Yeah.
That's true,
Exactly.
too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I would love it if they make the choice that Peter doesn't want the mentor and Doctor Strange is kind of forcing it on him.
Yeah.
Just have it be the rebellious punk Peter installment.
Right.
I'm just always
Well,
pushing
so-
back for Bully Maguire. That's just always what
Bully
I want
Maguire.
these things to turn into.
And the I need the dancing. I need it. Well, so my theory is that, and I don't think it's gonna happen this way, because I think I think Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to have at least somewhat of a prominent role, more than like a quick flash, right? But I had a theory that Doctor Strange is going to like mentor him, he's going to console him, and Peter's going to be like, it's too hard, I have all this stuff going on, and then Doctor Strange is like, you're not the only Spider-Man to deal with this, and then he shows him these other universes where
Watch these
Tobey
movies.
Maguire's fighting these people, right? And then he shows Andrew Garfield like fighting these people, and he's just like, see, all these other Spider-Men have to deal with it too. I thought that would be a cool way to do it, but I think they need to involve him a little bit more than go, hey, look, here's another universe. Look what they did there, right? Because then at that point, it's almost like a flashback to the other movies. So,
well, then you've got him being more of a chaperone on like an interdimensional field trip than being a full-on mentor.
That's my question, though, is what is this whole thing about him being a mentor? Like, what is he mentoring him to do?
You know, be more super than before.
Right, yeah,
I
guess.
Iron Man is mentor, and you see that. He's guiding him on the principles of being a hero and how to go about, like, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve the suit, or whatever the hell that quote is, right? But that was, like, such an important moment for that character to find himself, that he doesn't need to rely on the suit.
On the film,
And so I think that, like, what is, when they say mentoring, is it just a guide on how to handle universe jumping? Like, that's what I think. So all it sounds like to me is it's not a mentor, it's just a dude who's going to help out with this thing.
Maybe he will train Peter in the art of really tapping into his aura and using his spiritual realm.
Spider-Man with the mystical arts.
He's gonna
and a surgeon.
Yes, and then in the final part,
he's gonna teach him how to astral project.
Exactly, and then in the third act fight, he won't have the suit. He'll start off fighting as Peter, and then he'll go off into the astral plane to finally come out victorious.
Yeah,
exactly. There it is. I think John nailed it on the head. We just figured out Spider-Man 3. We figured out Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Marvel should hire us. Really.
Spoiler alert for this podcast.
Spoilers. I think we can all agree that it's almost like Star Wars fans. Like, you can complain about the movies and you can complain about whatever you want, but they're in the theaters watching the next movie no matter what it is. I think we can agree that we're all going to be there watching the next Spider-Man no matter what it is.
And we'll
it's
probably
just gonna be
a lot
exciting,
more calm about it than most Star Wars fans would be a new Star Wars movie.
Probably.
I mean, I think that as long as it doesn't get to the point where we have to course correct, we're A-okay. We didn't even course correct with Thor: The Dark World other than change up the tone.
That's
change
true.
Up the character, but they kept that canon. They didn't go, we need to undo this movie.
No, they
they
did.
So as long as we don't get to that point, we're A-okay.
Yeah, I agree. So, okay, Black Panther 2. Unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman is gone. There's a lot of talks right now about replacing him. Some people want him recast. They don't want T'Challa gone. They just want a different actor to play it. Some people are not okay with that. Some people are. There's also a rumor there's going to be 2 Black Panthers, Shuri, and then another one. Oh, the shirt's coming off. What do we got? Oh,
don't get distracted, all right? This is just...
I'm totally distracted.
This is just commitment to the bit. Please. You're looking at your new Black Panther right here.
This is a true professional right here. I just
changed. This is a lot smoother.
Nah, you got to keep the realism.
It's very, it's raw. Still Spider-Man beanie.
Crossover.
Spider-Panther?
What is this?
Pandering, did you say?
No. Pandering to whom?
Did you say pandering?
To whom?
Could we possibly be pandering to?
I'm sorry. What were we talking about? I just really felt the need to change my shirt for no
We were talking about
reason
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yes, Shang-Chi, of course. We're talking about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which you would have known had you not been fully nude moments ago.
Do you have another? Does he have another shirt?
Yeah, for the third topic,
do you have
there
a
will be more
Shang-Chi
shirts.
shirt by any chance?
Yeah, then there's a matching underwear set too that's going to play in later.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
we'll save that for the final, the peak of this episode. So, okay, you got the Black Panther shirt on. John, Greg, thoughts? Should they recast T'Challa or have him disappear from the movie, whether it's a death or they just say he's on a mission or something, and bring in a new Black Panther? Thoughts?
John, why don't you go first?
All right. Well, I came up with a reference-based joke that I'm not going to use. Because here in this moment, I was like, that's a bad one-person movie to reference. All right. I think they should make a one-person movie all about T'Challa, cast a body double, de-age the face, stick it on him, and just completely ignore reality. And just make a full-on franchise from here with, a CGI Chadwick Boseman. I feel like people will not miss a beat. They'll love it. That's my honest take.
Wow. You
Okay. Interesting.
You ruined the bit.
Oh no, was I supposed to be sincere?
Sincere. Well, I established this.
I am the
at the very
sincere
beginning
one.
that I would
Ugh.
do the hot
Okay.
takes, and then you just went
There are more hot takes.
for
There are
it,
more hot takes.
and
All right, I take it all back. I
there's
take it all back.
less of a hit
You threw off
when
my groove.
You start off that way.
Respect
The idea is you start
is
off
what
sincere,
the
and then
MCU
I go
stands
in there,
for.
and then I say the.
It's the Marvel Consideration Universe.
I'm sorry, Warren. Okay,
And-
all right. I'll give the real answer.
That's got to
I
be
don't
what it
think
is.
you should do it.
I think they should be respectful to Chadwick
I think
Boseman's.
No. Honest
should.
opinions. Honest
Yeah,
opinions.
I think that I don't think you need a body double. I don't think you need a CGI. I feel like his death, like the cries were heard around the world when it came to the passing of Chadwick Boseman. His name is so associated with Black
They were.
Panther already. We all know he's gone. We all know he's passed on.
Yeah.
And I think you can just start it off where
Right.
you don't. He's already passed. It's like there's such a relationship with the audience
Right.
already. I feel like audiences would be understanding. I just think the movie needs to deal with the grieving of him. I don't think you just need a, like he's gone, have 5 minutes, and then Namor's in town. Oh crap! Like,
We got bigger fish to fry. We can mourn later.
Black Panther, sure, you get in there.
Yeah.
If they deal a lot with the passing of T'Challa, if that's like an underlying theme of grief throughout, which is why I'm kind of surprised to hear that they're going to start shooting by July, because I'm like, well, I thought you need a brand new screenplay at this point to do this.
Yeah.
So I think as
I
long
would've
as
thought so,
there's the current underneath it feels like they are honoring. When I say honor him, I don't just mean like rest in peace Chadwick Boseman at the end, or you do your Marvel logo and it's all Chadwick Boseman, which I think they should do.
You want him to still feel like a presence
Right.
throughout the movie that is just as impactful in his absence
Right.
as it was in his presence the first time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know there's movies that have done that. I'm just trying to think.
Trying to think of an example that's not Fast 7.
Well, the Fast 7 is just the ending. I mean, even in like Rocky Balboa, that's not even a strong example, but like Rocky Balboa, Adrian's dead when the movie starts, and her the dealing with the loss of her is kind of something that looms throughout the movie, and I think that's like that's a weak. It's still not the strongest.
Yeah.
There's something out there that is like right there. That's the perfect example.
Yeah.
But I think
What is it?
that needs to? I think that's the most integral part, because it's hard for me to get like all fixated and focused. I mean, it's great for your channel, but for me personally, I get really like hard time going. Well, I'm not really pumped thinking about Namor or Shuri or two Black Panthers. I'm like, how are they gonna handle the storytelling and honoring this man's legacy? And the only way they can do that is by dealing with the loss of T'Challa. So I think he has to be. I think you just start off where he's gone, or maybe that's
Or
the funeral.
some kind of,
You start off with,
memorial.
like
Yeah.
his funeral. Yeah, you could do that. You could start off with his funeral.
Right, yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind too. Like maybe just start with his funeral, right? And then Shuri's talking to her mom, and they're just like, I can't believe he's gone. And then maybe M'Baku's like, I'm gonna go kill that man. Maybe it was an Atlantean that did it, right? And it's like, I don't know what the story's like. It's like you said. I thought they would for sure push it back, and they're filming already. It's really crazy because again, I thought they would do a completely different story, but it seems like they might be kind of sticking to the same story. Now there's been rumors for a while that Namor was supposed to show up, right, and he's going to be the villain, and there's that long feud between Atlantis and Wakanda. So maybe they just say an Atlantean killed him, right, and it starts off with a funeral or something like that, and they mourn for him, and the whole movie may be about, I don't want to say like you should do a revenge movie, because I don't know if you want that like bad tone
Sorry,
to
not
it.
to cut you. I don't think
more
you want
than
to be
like
in
a
the position for the movie to have
No,
to
go.
take up some kind of mantle of like a vengeance. Like if you're using these real circumstances as a spiritual aspect of the movie, I feel like a revenge mission might actually kind of cheapen some of that. Yeah.
Have you seen?
Right,
have you
that's
played
what I'm
the
saying. Right,
Spider-Man
right.
Miles Morales video game yet?
No.
You're not a
I'm
Spider-Man
canceled.
fan.
Gosh.
What are you doing?
Why'd you ask me that?
What are you doing, Warren?
Okay, there's this big part of Miles Morales in that game where Peter's not dead, but the big part of that game is him having to find his own embrace his own identity, and he keeps having to he keeps comparing himself to others, primarily Peter Parker, Spider-Man. He's not just embracing his own identity, and he has this internal struggle. And I think if you did something like that, if let's say Shuri is the new Black Panther and having to deal with how T'Challa would have done this, or she needs T'Challa's guidance, like really feeling like she needs T'Challa, I think that would be the ultimate way to still honor him. Is that way it causes for good reflection. Like, you don't need the death to be a villain killed him, we need revenge. I think you can have something though where he is dead in the beginning and she has to deal with this really big thing now, and all she can think of is how T'Challa would have done this, or what T'Challa would have done differently. How she would have been guided, and
how would my brother do it?
Probably the only way I can see it working in that regard.
Well, and that can be a really rich emotional arc too, I think, as well. And I think it just, spitballing, I would almost prefer, if it was me, I might even make some of the circumstances not, directly real life, but maybe T'Challa had some sort of like a condition or something that, it's not a villain, it's not an outside force, it's just a fact of life. And then, having Shuri or whoever have to take up the mantle, they're not ready for that. They're grieving for their own family member, and they have to, get the job done, so to speak, and ascend, reach within and find a level of power and perseverance, taking that inspiration from, the presence of T'Challa and what he stood for, but then also learning to transcend the shadow of, I feel like that could actually, in a weird, again, like the circumstances are horrible, but in reacting to them, I feel like the movie actually has a potential moment to make it, or like a really richly impactful movie, and to, again, I think whatever they do, they should absolutely embrace the circumstances, because I think you're absolutely right about that. Is everybody in the world who cares about this stuff at all knows what happened, and had something to say about it and had a feeling about it. And so you can't it would be very foolish, I think, and outside of what I understand now to be the Marvel sensibility. Like, it just doesn't seem like something Kevin Feige would do to not be pragmatic and meet reality and use that as sort of a big part of how to move forward.
And also, I think Black Panther 2, not only should they do it because of the passing of Chadwick Boseman, have a more serious tone, but Black Panther 1 is a pretty serious movie. Like, there's humor in there.
It is.
Certain
it is
dialogue interactions, but there's not the quote unquote Marvel humor. There's not that stuff. There's no Joss Whedon like dialogue or Taika Waititi like dialogue.
Right, there's no Hulk or Banner jumping out of the plane, and then
there's no comedy
dying,
like
and
that.
then the Hulk comes out, right?
That come from within the characters, like Shuri saying, like, "What are you wearing? What are like when he's talking about the sandals or something, the shoes?" Like those kind of lines are in there, but it's not a funny movie, and it's not. It doesn't have the Marvel humor, so I think that this is one where I'm like, well, it's already kind of a serious movie. Might as well just embrace that and roll with that. And I think
it is.
I feel like Ryan Coogler would be great at dealing with such a thing.
Absolutely. Judging by his previous films.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think you both hit it on the head. Like, really hit the nail on the head there. I think you definitely have to address it, right? And you don't show the death. I heard a report that they're going to show him die in battle, and I'm just like, no, don't do that. Don't CGI his body with a body that you can't do that. He died in real life. You can't like relive it. But I agree. I think it needs to start off with like a funeral and like the mourning, and then it's like you said, John. Something happens and she's grieving, and all of a sudden she has to deal with that, and then she thinks, well, what would my brother do, right? If it is Shuri. Now, here's a question I do have, though. So it's been confirmed in the MCU tie-in book, The Wakanda Files, that Shuri's basically created a new heart-shaped herb, right? Which is what gives the Black Panther his powers, or her powers. So let's say Shuri becomes new Black Panther. She partakes of the heart-shaped herb. She goes to the astral plane. Do they do a CGI Chadwick at that time when she sees her ancestors and stuff like that? Or do you just kind of avoid that, or do you maybe make it a
you
panther or
allude
something?
to
You know,
the
what
presence.
do you
like,
think?
if you do like a CGI version of him, I don't think he should talk. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what the moment would be necessarily, but I think it's got to be something that feels a little bit heavenly, and it's because, you know, when there's like some pretty heavy scenes in the first Black Panther when he goes to the astral plane, but they're like really emotional. He learns some like heavy information and has some serious conflict. I don't think it should be that. I think it should be something that feels like a longing or missing, and it shouldn't be a
something that is like reassuring if his presence is there, but also heartbreaking because it's confirming that he's moved on to the next realm, and I will be leaving here too to go back to reality soon. You know, it's a temporary plane, and it hurts when you have something like that, even if it is, you know, a benevolent moment or a moment of, you know, influx of emotion, because you do have that presence briefly. You know, it's
as long as he doesn't talk, I think it could just be a good visual scene, no dialogue, an exchange between them, coming to peace with something like towards the end of the movie if they do it.
I feel like they probably have enough footage left over too that they could.
What if it's? Well, that's what I was gonna say. So what if it's like maybe old footage or something, right? Or like his old record of his voice, just saying something reassuring to her.
I think you should digital any audio. Yeah,
don't get a voice.
Don't make new one. Don't Princess Leia it.
Pro Tools. Like, don't do any of that. Just keep. No print. That's all.
So no Princess Leia.
Don't do that.
Yeah, just don't do that. That's all you gotta avoid, and you're fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think a little bit of an insert of throwing him in there is like actually Fast 7 is Furious 7?
Furious 7.
Yeah, Furious 7 is a great example of that, you know, like even though now I can look at it and go, oh wait, that's clearly a CGI face they put, like they clearly altered him. At the same time, though, it doesn't emotionally lose its effect, and they don't have that Paul Walker speak. It's all visual.
Yeah.
And I think something more along those lines and less Rogue One, and we're okay.
Something that again, just has their presence and their aura, but doesn't mean like, oh, they're full on. Once you make him start talking, I feel like it takes you to that realm of like, okay, now I know exactly, he wasn't here, this isn't real footage, this is, you know, movie magic.
Yeah.
And so if you have something tangible,
okay,
yep,
that makes sense.
If you don't, make it as aura and etheria oriented as possible.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because and I thought I almost had, and I don't really know how it would be perceived, but almost make it like they had some Black Panthers in one of those times, like actual, they weren't real, but CGI panther. Maybe it's just like a panther, and it comes up and it kind of nuzzles up next to her, like rubs her in the leg like a cat would, and she's kind of like, "Hi, brother," or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just like comforting or something like that. I don't know how that would do, but that was kind of like a thought that I had, because I'm the same way. I'm like, you shouldn't make him talk. Probably shouldn't CGI him, and if you do, just have him there and smile or something like that. But it's a hard situation. Nobody knew he was sick. Nobody knew he had cancer. Nobody knew he was going to die. He actually thought he was going to make it. So it's just a really sad situation, and I hope they do what we're talking about. I hope they have it be that presence in the movie, like you were saying, but have it almost be uplifting. What would my brother do? What would the last Black Panther do? He was a great man.
Yeah.
I want to be like him.
Yeah, exactly.
How can I be like him?
Use my idea.
Yeah. So, okay.
Just use
last
my idea.
but not least. What? Okay, so The Mandalorian, it's been awesome. Super exciting. Now, okay, Ahsoka's coming. Haven't seen her yet. But since Ahsoka's coming, the big question lately has been, are we going to see Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Did you just change your shirt?
Yes, I did, Warren. Yes, I did. I believe that the shirt you wear has people think you must be the biggest fan in the world, and you must know what you're talking about. So I changed shirts as a subconscious manipulation.
That's right. You know, they
Well, I
say
guess
don't
now
judge
it's
a book by
conscious.
its cover, judge it by its T-shirt.
Wise quotes from John.
Always.
You should make a book.
Always.
Well, Greg, since you magically have an epic shirt on, would you like to take this away? Do you think we're going to see Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, someone in a future episode of The Mandalorian since we're getting Ahsoka?
Specifically those two?
No, anybody.
We'll probably see someone.
We'll see some new characters, I think. I think they'll add some new characters.
Okay, let me rephrase it, I guess. Do you think we'll see one of those two? Both of those two? Neither? What do you think?
I think that Luke is going to enter the show and then take over the show.
I'm so sorry.
It's going to become the Luke and Ben comedy hour.
I don't think we'll see Obi-Wan because isn't he dead? No, I don't think we'll see Obi-Wan. He
is dead now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He'd be a Force
Force
ghost
ghost.
at this point.
Yep.
I don't think we're gonna see him. Luke Skywalker. I don't think we'll see Luke Skywalker either. I don't. Although I would venture to say that if we do see Luke Skywalker, it wouldn't be this season. I think it would be next season if we were to see Luke. Because right now they've been doing a lot of their tie-ins with Clone Wars and Rebels. You know, you got Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano. I feel like people are excited enough as it is for that. And I think, you know, getting them in there is just joyous. And if you got Luke in there already, I feel like it kind of takes away some of the spotlight. I still doubt we'd see him there. I feel like we're more likely to get a little bit more of like a random, one of the, like a droid, like R2D2 or C-3PO or Chewbacca. You know, like if anything, I wouldn't mind seeing 3PO in there just because he's the tie-in through all of them. I wouldn't mind seeing them in there at some point. And like they do go to Tatooine a few times.
Right.
In this series as it is. So I think if anyone we're more likely to see that's the only reason why I'd say if there's anyone we're likely to see, it might be Luke Skywalker, considering that's where his home is. And or maybe we'll see baby Kylo Ren, the way how we saw young Boba
and that was
Fett
they'll drop the child off with, you know, the Jedi and whoever to train him, and then it'll turn out that he was just across the tent from little Ben before Luke almost killed him. And there you go, Baby Yoda was in the room for those sequels.
I think that my most like the guess that I would most venture to believe is possible. I think we'll actually see Yoda. Yes, he's dead. He's Force Ghost at this time, but I think it's called the Veil of the Force. That it's established near the end of Rebels, wherever Ezra Bridger pulled Ahsoka Tano out to save him from the Darth Vader fight. I think it's called the Veil of the Force. Oh.
You're wearing the shirt. Come on, Greg.
I know. The shirt's supposed to give me powers.
We discussed this when talking about the Rise of Skywalker.
No, I just watched that recently. Yeah, I just want to make sure I got it right. Okay. Anyway, so, and I think that just with Ahsoka Tano, Ahsoka Tano is not technically a Jedi anymore. She left the Jedi Order, but I think she has ways of, she's still essentially a Jedi. She's like, it's one of those things. More than Jango Fett essentially being a like he's not a Mandalorian. Ahsoka Tano is essentially a Jedi, and she would have the ability to communicate through the Force of communicating with Yoda in some way. And I think just with the idea of the presence of the child, Ahsoka Tano knows who Yoda is. She's had direct interaction with Yoda many times.
Yeah.
So odds are she's going to see that baby and be like, that little mother effer looks like Yoda. So I need to get in contact with Yoda, you know?
Yeah.
And so I feel like if anyone's likely to show up out of the Star Wars movies, I think it's going to be Yoda.
I mean, the only reason I could really think for bringing in a Obi-Wan, I mean, because you said that, then I'm like, well, then you could, I guess, have him conjure up a Obi-Wan Force Ghost or something like that. But
there's no need for him.
There's no really need to do that other than perhaps just reminding people about the Obi-Wan show and to tune into that. It's coming. It's tied in.
Well, I don't put it past them.
Different eras, but whatever.
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them, but I think I would have to agree. I think the necessity of it probably isn't there.
Yeah.
I think
I don't think you need to. But you're 100% right, because I've had the same thought. Ahsoka knows who Yoda is, right? So she's automatically going to be like, this freaking dude in the Jedi Council who preaches the Order had a kid with somebody, right? She's going to think it's his kid or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, and there was Yaddle. I don't know if they're going to like make that canon into everything that's going on, but she was there too. She was one of their kind species. We don't know what it is yet, but she's automatically gonna be like, well, we got to go find Yoda. It's clearly the same species, right?
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
I don't know if she knows if Yoda's dead yet though, because Return. I think she knows if Yoda's dead. When did Rebels?
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I wonder if they're going to change anything.
I'm trying to remember my timelines here, because I know Rebels, the Battle of Endor does happen, like in the finale of you're not there, but I know it takes place off screen. So, but I don't know if she knows if Yoda's actually dead yet, because he dies in Return of the Jedi. But this is when Mandalorian's like 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So if that's the case, she might have heard word about him being dead in some way.
Well worth assuming.
I mean, but Yoda was in isolation for a very long time and difficult to get a hold of. But he does show up in Rebels when Ezra Bridger will talk with him through the Force. So maybe, I think that's most. I heard one from Star Wars, the channel Star Wars Theory actually is about we watched a video that was talking about the possibility, and it sounded cool and plausible, of Mace Windu showing up in The Mandalorian and why. And I actually really like it, and I think it would be really cool. However, if we're talking about one that I think we'll actually see sooner than later, it's Ahsoka Tano trying to get in touch with Yoda. I think that's the most likely one to happen.
Weirdly enough, of all the classic Star Wars characters that we could be pulling into the world of The Mandalorian, this is just a stray thought, but the one that makes the most sense to me is Han and Chewie. Because, when we come back in the sequels, they're still tooling around the galaxy doing scavenger stuff, and they make a lot of sense just in the world that the Mandalorian occupies and the kinds of things
that's true.
they end up doing there, and, they could easily run into him somewhere. So, that seems like one that it probably is impossible, because I doubt Harrison Ford would want to do that, and I don't know if anybody would be like, yes, Alden Ehrenreich, come on back. But but I could fathom a natural way for that to happen, perhaps more so.
Yeah, see, I think with what you're saying, you're 100% right, because it makes the most sense for them to. But then again, at that time, though, because in Force Awakens is when Han got back into, things were to the whole Kylo Ren situation or Ben situation, and then he got back into his old ways. But at the end of Return of the Jedi, he's not continuing to do that. He's a part of the Republic, and so
true.
he's settling down with Leia. He's probably giving up all that at that Leia, point. Yeah. So keeping track of Star Wars timelines makes the biggest difference. Because I'm Smuggler Han does make the most sense to show up, but in terms of where Han is by the end of Return of the Jedi,
a lot can happen in 5 years. Yeah, he and Leia just were a terrible match. Got divorced year 2.
The only reason they stayed in contact was because of that damn kid they had.
Damn kid, yeah.
And he had child support to play, so he got back
not
in.
That much of an outlaw. Still a good dad. Still send that.
All right. Well, to end it, I'll change the question. Is there anyone you would like to see show up in The Mandalorian, despite whatever
Tobey
logic
Maguire,
there may be?
Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield,
Boom!
J. Jonah Jameson. It's everybody. Bring them all. I want everybody.
That was a
I
good
like
callback.
it.
That was a good callback.
Thanks, man.
That was a good one.
I'm
That's
impressed.
good.
That's all.
I'm impressed.
I feel
the best
great.
joke you've had all this.
I think we just ended it there.
Yep, it's the best joke right there.
Yeah, now I got to top it.
I mean, the ones I named are the ones I would like to see, undoubtedly. But I think I would like to see Mace Windu's show, like Star Wars Theory. That when he put
That'd be pretty cool.
When he put that one out there, I was like, you know what, that would be cool because of the fact that Boba Fett's back now, and Mace Windu and Boba Fett was hell bent on killing him in the Clone Wars, like getting revenge for his daddy.
That's true. Yeah.
And you could bring that kind of full circle, like how in Rebels when Obi-Wan and Darth Maul have a showdown, you could kind of have a similar thing here where Mace Windu actually did survive in Revenge of the Sith and went into hiding, similar to how Yoda went into hiding. They were both. They had a Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan moment. You go this way, I go that way. and,
I mean, you never saw him die.
yeah, I feel like he could have survived that.
Super strong Jedi, one of the most powerful Jedi. I mean, he had his own lightsaber. Now, granted, that's a Sam Jackson thing, but
we didn't see the light leave his eyes, and Sam Jackson will never die.
Yes.
So I
he
would love
doesn't.
to see that happen. I would love that theory to be true.
I would like to see that too. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of exciting things kind of in my world, in your world, and just kind of the world that we live in right now. So we're going to be talking about a lot more to come in future episodes, and I hope you guys will join me in future episodes as well. Everybody, The Real Rejects, if you are not subscribed to their channel, you definitely should be. Two awesome guys, Greg and John. Again, Greg, congratulations on your engagement.
Thank
you.
you.
Been a good week for you.
It's been a good week, but then we had a couple of low-performing videos, and it's a
terrible week.
Oh, no.
It's a terrible week.
My mood. I am a very circumstantial kind of individual. So if something goes wrong in the slightest, like, oh, it's going great, suddenly, boom, low-performing video, those YouTube analytics show up. I take it out on everyone, especially this one.
Oh, no. Everyone, to save John, go over to The Real Rejects
Watch
right
a video
now.
to save his life.
Please help John out. Come on,
How many
guys.
times I can blink for help?
The signals are there. No one's picking up on it. Come on.
Someone will one day. You'll catch my duress.
Well, guys, thank you so much again for being on the very first episode of my podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed having The Real Rejects on here. I hope everyone enjoyed the first episode of the podcast. More to come. I'm going to try to get them out every Thursday. One big last thank you to The Real Rejects for being on here. And you know what, guys? If you want to give them a woof woof, I'll let you lead it out.
Thanks so much for watching.
Woof woof.